Exactly.
You talk about insurance companies that's making billions of dollars profit margin,
there you go.
and then don't want to pay what they owe.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what it is. But like I said, it's just the conservative movement that has been proven time and time again that they're the ones with this whole pull yourself up by your bootstraps mentality.
Yeah.
No entitlement programs.
Right.
Mentality that wants to keep the rich rich,
yeah,
and the poor poor. That whole kingdom,
yeah.
royalty versus serfs.
Right. There you go.
It's the conservative base. They're the only ones that don't just want to help people who want to get ahead,
Yeah.
get ahead. No, they said do it on your own. Don't ask me for nothing.
But then will turn around and blast you for not being able to do so because everything is against you. Everything is against you. How can you pull yourself up by anything when ain't no strap showing? You got to be able to see the doggone strap to grab it. Yeah, heathens.
I want to take the people a little bit back in time. Just a little bit.
All right, let's go.
You all remember back when Glenn Beck, and I actually had a video clip, I'm going to play it a little bit later because we got a lot to cover with Glenn Beck this week. But he was talking about, Obama's indoctrinating our kids because of the teacher that wrote the song and got approval through all the parents. And then the song, well, you know what? I don't have to tell y'all about it. I can remind y'all just by playing the clip as soon as we get set up. But,
there we go.
It's that whole Barack Hussein Obama song.
Yeah, I remember that.
We're going to play that clip for you right now just to refresh y'all memories on that song. Whoops, that's not it. Sorry, y'all.
Another technical difficulty.
Yeah, well, these things happen.
Sue you. Yeah, right. I remember.
Hey, look, when you're trying to do this by yourself,
Yeah.
it's not the easiest thing in the world, but let's try this again. Well, this is Glenn Beck still talking. Nope. Look, nope.
Whoa.
Well, hey, look, I'll do the best I can. But that's just to try to refresh people's minds. I mean, it was no. Why are you all scrunched up in?
Oh, because the little children they're so enthusiastic that they're shrill.
Oh well. Yeah. And sorry about the technical difficulties, y'all. It's just I got a lot I'm trying to work with right here. But so Glenn Beck pretty much criticized talking about the indoctrination of the kids and all this other good stuff, but he did not mention this part, and this is what happened with Richard M. Nixon. Well, what happened to my son? Oh. See, I just find it funny that
yeah, it's okay
for kids to sing to President Nixon, who was a president that actually got impeached.
Yeah.
And nobody to this day has a problem with that. But to sing about the first African American president, is, oh my God, he's indoctrinating the kids. But I pretty much did all that to say this. Did you hear about this latest story that MSNBC broke?
Okay. What?
Well, let me read a little bit for you.
Go ahead.
A far-right faction of the Texas State Board of Education succeeded Friday in injecting conservative ideas into social studies, histories, economic lessons that will be taught to millions of students for the next decade. Teachers in Texas will be required to cover the Judeo-Christian influences of the nation's founding fathers, but not highlight the philosophical rationale for the separation of church and state. Curriculum standards also will describe the U.S. government as a constitutional republic rather than democratic, and students will be required to study the decline in the value of the U.S. dollar, including the abandonment of the gold standard. Oh, it gets worse. Let's see. There was, hold on, let me scroll down, y'all. Let me scroll down. Oh, yeah, here we go. Conservative resurgence. Board members argued about the classification of historic periods, still BC and AD rather than BCE and CE, whether students should be required to explain the origins of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and its impact on global politics, which they will, that's been passed, and whether former Israeli Prime Minister Golda Meir should be required learning. She will. In addition to learning the Bill of Rights, the board specified reference to the Second Amendment to bear arms in a section about citizenship in a U.S. government class. Conservatives also included a plan to ensure that students learn about the conservative resurgence of the 1980s and 90s, including Phyllis Schlafly, the Contract with America, the Heritage Foundation, the Morale Majority, and the National Rifle Association. Now, this stuff that they've already passed. This is going into the Texas curriculum. Let's see. The leader of the conservative faction, Don McElroy, pushed through a change of the teaching of the civil rights movement to ensure that students study the violent philosophy of the Black Panthers, in addition to Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's nonviolent speech. He also made sure that textbooks would mention the votes in Congress on civil rights legislation, which Republicans supported. In economics, the curriculum revisions add Milton Friedman and Friedrich von Hayek, two champions of the free market economic theory, to the usual list of economists to be studied like Adam Smith, Karl Marx, John Maynard Keynes. Yeah. Let's see, the board also replaced the word capitalism throughout the text with free enterprise system.
Really?
Conservatives beat back multiple attempts to include hip-hop as an example of a significant cultural movement. Numerous attempts to add names or references to important Hispanics throughout history also were denied, including one amendment that would specify that Tejanos died at Alamo along with David Crockett and Jim Boyd. So even though he did die there, they ain't gonna put him in there.
There you go.
Let's see, another amendment deleted a requirement that sociology students explain how institutional racism is evident in American society.
Oh, yeah.
So they've just completely changed the entire school board curriculum into a conservative, Judeo-Christian, white empowerment movement.
There you go. There you go. That's it.
And pretty much just taking Black people and Hispanics completely out of it and then demonized us.
Yes.
Because I can tell you, when they talk about the Black Panthers, they're not going to talk about how they were a party of self-defense.
No.
They'll talk about they was a bunch of violent, gun-toting niggas.
Yeah. There you go.
When they really weren't.
You got it.
They were a party of self-defense. They followed the constitutional laws. The Constitution gave them a right to bear arms as long as it was in public display, there was no bullet in the chamber, and it was not pointed at anybody.
Right.
They did that. They just did it to a T. In the midst of their people being brutalized, see, they're not going to talk about that.
No.
Of how this organization stepped up and said, you know what, you just can't keep beating us like that. Enough's enough.
You know, this is amazing.
But you actually want to talk about who's indoctrinating whose kids? This is the same Texas state that talked about seceding from the Union.
Yes, yes. You know, and I almost wish they were gone.
So do us, so the Mexicans have them.
Yeah, there you go.
The only problem is Texas holds a lot of oil, and the United States couldn't have all that oil leave the, leave the treasury. So we would wind up having to go to war again with the Mexicans to reclaim that territory because, make no mistake about it, the Mexicans would invade. And Texas, I know y'all think y'all big and bad, but
they really do.
Nobody's that big and bad to go up against an entire national military. Not no state.
Yeah, because aren't they kicking